Hey everybody, we're sitting here with Matt Laframboise from the Laframboise team and Realty executives in North Bay. Hello, Matthew. How are you, buddy?
How you doing, Paul? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. This is awesome. I love seeing the awards behind you on that bookshelf. That's awesome. Love seeing that. Good stuff, man. Great job.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I know you're probably one of the most passionate, realtors in town, and being part of our, the BNI Business Network International over the last year, I've really got to know you guys and kind of what you stand for. So I just wanted to get you on here, talk a little bit about, supporting local businesses and maybe educating everybody who's watching, a few things about the real estate world in North Bay now. For example,
hmm
is it a good time to list a home? Is it a good time to be buying a home? And how do we go about
hmm
that with the current COVID situation and everybody, standing back a bit?
Yeah. Great questions, Paul. I think right now this is definitely something that is unprecedented in our industry and probably even in yours as well. Like right now, anything that is already closed that was set to close is closing.
Okay.
But what we're doing is for the final walkthroughs and stuff like that, we're trying to do more FaceTime, more um, videos with the clients. But the challenge I think right now for most realtors out there is how do you do new business?
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of the realtors and a lot of the brokers in town are trying to come up with what those answers are. At the same time to still try and respect RICO, ARIA, and CREA as to how they want us to do business, right? Because it's not business as usual. There's obviously things that need to be put in place. So um, I think you got to base, if you're a buyer or a seller right now, you got to base it on what your comfort level is.
Okay.
And I'll talk about sellers first. Um, I think with a lot of stuff that our team does, we do a lot of pre-inspections on our properties. We do a lot of 3D tours, a lot of video. So we're going to start doing like video walkthroughs on most of our listings as well.
Great
Uh,
idea.
s- Natasha, Phil, and I have purchased a couple of gimbals, and it's kind of like a um, how
Those
should
are
I
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody looking at this that is a realtor, what we've done is we've bought like a couple of gimbals, which is like basically like a handset where you can put your phone and you can actually do video and do a walkthrough. It's actually pretty slick. So we bought a couple of them. We bought one for Phil and then we bought one for myself. And it's just when we're walking through a house, it's one thing to look at a photo, but it's one thing to actually walk through the house. And I find the 3D tours that we do give people a greater sense for what's there on the interior. But that walkthrough with that gimbal is so key, not only on the interior as well, but on the exterior. To get a good sense for the neighborhood. What does the yard look like? So I think for sellers, if you can give buyers more of a sense and more of a sense of expectation as to what's there, I think that's going to be very important. Obviously, houses that are vacant, very easier to sell, easier to show right now. But if you have sellers that have either small kids or are actually living in the house, that's where I think the challenge comes up. And I know a lot of the realtors in town have been asking those questions, whether or not buyers are from the area. Have they been in contact with anybody? So most of the brokerages do have a questionnaire that they have their clients fill out before they take their clients through. But at the same time, what we've been doing is, having the sellers keep all the lights on, open up all the doors so that when we do walk through, we sanitize our hands. We've even gone as far as putting hand washing stations into all of our listings. But most
That's a good
realtors are
idea.
carrying around Purell and Clorox wipes with them too. So then there's minimal touching going on, but you're also keeping your distance within the house too. But as a buyer, I think where it's challenging is if you can get a realtor that can, whether or not the listing has those types of videos, what we've done is we've sent them as much information as we could, and then we would walk through the house with our gimbal and do that walkthrough video or even FaceTime to give them a little bit of a sense of what's there. And then, at the very least, either do a walkthrough right at the end, right, to make sure it's something that they're going to want to purchase. Or what I've seen people do is, if you do that video, they would put in the offer conditional upon walking through it. So that's something that, you know, I think is, as buyers and sellers want to buy and sell, and as realtors that are in the industry, I think it's important for us to kind of share those tips as to what we're doing so that business does kind of pick up. But right now, definitely slower, definitely lower inventory of homes.
Okay.
I think April is going to be quiet because people are just trying to get a sense for what's happening right now. But, you know, as long as our cases remain low and everybody's doing what they're doing, and I think everybody is trying to do what they can in town to minimize any spread of COVID-19. But definitely some challenges, Paul, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So Matt, with the inventory being low, now could possibly be a good time to list your house.
It could be. Like, how should I say it? There's so many challenges too. Like, I've talked to a couple of mortgage brokers and bankers to get a little bit of insight as to whether or not, like, if someone's laid off, can they still purchase? Right.
Interesting.
So that's something that I still haven't got a concrete answer yet.
Right.
So that's something that I think a lot of the mortgage brokers and bankers are still trying to wait and see what's going to happen. But definitely, if somebody is even looking to sell, like, I've had a couple sellers reach out to me, and they've sent me photos. You know, have sent me videos of the house. They've sent me kind of a renovation timeline as to what they've done. And I'm able to somewhat come up with a range of value.
Gotcha.
But obviously, I'd have to see it, right?
Yeah.
But I think if somebody is looking to sell, the only issue is if you're looking to sell, there's definitely low inventory. But if you're looking to sell and buy right now, you got to be patient, right? You got to make sure you're giving yourself enough time that you're going to be able to find some.
Right. Okay.
But there are stuff getting listed. There are still houses getting listed. Like, we listed one on Monday, and you know, it's how should I say that, Paul? Everybody's comfort level is a bit different.
Yeah.
It's to come up with that process and that plan that's gonna meet that comfort zone for them, and there is a way to do that. Like, I always believe there is a way in any type of situation. It's just to come up with what that answer is, what's that recipe that's gonna work. But definitely low inventory means, you know, there's less houses for buyers to choose from, but every situation is unique. So, but even for buyers too, right? People are like, Matt, should I wait and buy? You know, it's got to be based on your comfort level, right? But if I look at how the market was last year, Paul, like, we had a bad winter last year, and there was significantly low inventory. I'm going to say between February and May, and really our market didn't really kick into high gear, in my opinion, until June. So, you know, is this kind of slowing us down a bit? Yep. But I think as we move forward towards the end of the month and get into May, I think you're going to see people's confidence maybe get a little bit higher, and I think you'll start seeing things kind of move. So
I think now is probably a good time if they're at all thinking about selling. Perhaps now it's when they reach out to you to get an evaluation, just to get an idea. Start that ball rolling. Figure things out so that you're not rushing towards the end of this when we come out of this, because we will come out of it. It's just a matter of time. And I think you guys are going to have probably an awesome late spring, and summer is going to be excellent.
I think it's going to be really busy, Paul. I do agree with you. I think if there's people that are thinking of selling right now, or even buying, like, a lot of times if you're dealing with a mortgage broker or even a banker, call these people, you know, do the app over the phone or online. But even for selling, you know, you're at home, start working on stuff to get your house ready, declutter, do some painting, you know, do the cost-effective things so that the presentation's there, right?
The honey-do list.
The honey-do list. And you know what? Natasha is probably, as far as I'm concerned, there's nobody that packages a listing like her. You know, so a lot of times it's FaceTiming us and walking through your house with us. Let us see what you're working on. You know, let us make sure that you're investing that money into areas that you need to, right? Yeah. So
Natasha has that magical touch when it comes to staging homes and figuring out what things need. She also does all the back end. You also have one of those Matterports. I guess just
Yep.
a few realtors have that, which is a heck of a tool for 3Ding the home once you have the listing. And I know she spends a lot of time and does an incredible job with that tool. So it's good to have her on your side.
Oh God, yeah. She makes my job very, very easy. People don't realize. I think once sellers meet us and we go through what the process is, people are just blown away of how much preparation we actually do. Like, we take weeks in order to get a house ready.
Wow.
And because the last thing I want to do for my seller is leave any money on that table. Like, I want them fighting over the house. And there's a recipe that we use. As far as I'm concerned, is the right recipe, and it works well. But instead of just plopping a sign on and taking a couple photos, we don't do that. We want to make sure we're showcasing that house so that shows within its best light, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, you guys have a shameless plug for Clark Communications, but you guys have a new website,
Yes.
laframboiseteam.ca. It's up and running as of about 2 weeks ago. It looks dynamite.
It looks really good. Yeah.
It looks really, really good. I love it. They can find all your contact information there. But if they wanted to reach out to you, what's the best number to reach yourself at?
Probably my cell phone is probably the best one. And that's 705-493-3434. They could text or call. Even email is good too. Matt@laframboiseteam.ca. They could find our contact information, as you said, Paul, on our website. And I think people are going to be pretty pleased with what they can check out on our website too.
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
Yeah, I know you guys work really, really hard on that, and you guys did a fantastic job.
Our team, when it comes to that stuff, is pretty incredible. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. It's just not about building one of these little templated sites. It's the thought behind the words on the page. So, and we wanted to make sure we represented you guys well, also. So, okay,
Well,
any parting words at all?
You know what? I would just basically say, if there's anybody thinking of buying or selling, give us a call. I know for sellers, there's a lot of things we can do to help you get your house ready. Especially with the technology now, I don't necessarily need to physically be there. But for buyers as well too, we do have our one-on-one buyer seminar that we can do via Zoom as well. And the reason why I do that is we want to make sure that the buyers, as well as the sellers, but in this case, the buyers, have a very good idea as to what to expect. And this is probably a time, like you said earlier, Paul, start doing the groundwork now, because when things get going, they're going to be busy. So
yeah, and that's kind of the theme that I'm hearing from everybody, right? Because I believe we're going to come out of this thing strong. People want to get back to normal life. People want to get back to the routines. They want to get out of the house, and they want to start spending. I mean, we've spent more money on food being either delivered or we picked up. We're trying to support as many as possible, and that's just growing every single day. So, okay, listen, say hi to Phil. He's part of your team. Incredible guy. Say hi to Natasha. We all love Natasha. Thanks for hopping on. Stay safe with your family, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks very much. Okay.
All right. Bye.